Today's sponsor is Audible.com, who has more than 180,000 audiobooks and spoken word audio products. Get a free audiobook of your choice at www.audibletrial.com/Trending Topics with BB. Hello and welcome to another rousing edition of Trending Topics with BB. I am your humble host, Brooke Brown. I apologize to all of those that have been waiting for the next anticipated episode. I have some guests in the work, just trying to work out schedules and whatnot. You know, life happens. There's a lot to talk about. So thus, before we get into tonight's topic, I want to remind you to log on to the Facebook or Twitter page for Trending Topics with BB. All you have to do is go to facebook.com/Trending Topics with BB or put in TT with BB on Twitter, and you will find that page. If you're looking for the company under BB Media Industries, if you go to bbmediaindustries.com, it will reroute you to the Facebook page for the company. I thank you for hitting like and follow on those pages. Along with that, I want to, if you are finding this podcast on iTunes, thank you. And if you are an iPhone or iOS subscriber, and you are listening to this podcast via that platform, please don't hesitate to give this podcast a favorable rating, preferably 4 or 5 stars, and a nice comment. It helps this podcast be found by other listeners in that realm. Along with you Android subscribers, if you have the app Stitcher or other avenues out there, but more importantly Stitcher, please do the same by leaving a rating and a comment. It helps this podcast the way, and I've had a few days to process what's going on in the world. I felt that I needed to get back on my soapbox once again and talk about the 2016 presidential election that just finally happened, but I have a lot to say based on the results. So bear with me, and feel free to send me a comment on any of the pages mentioned, preferably the social pages like Facebook and Twitter if you want to get in on the discussion. Okay, so the first soapbox episode of this podcast was me ranting and raving about how ridiculous Donald Trump was running, and that was many, many months ago. Now, I was first shocked when the GOP, the Republican Party, had him winning and all the other opponents within the party were starting to drop out of the race. Then I was really fucking shocked when he became the nominee for the party. Yes, before we get out all you naysayers that aren't Hillary supporters, I get it. And technically my generation has been Bernie Sanders supporters, but I'm in the minority of that bunch in that I just thought that the whole Bernie Sanders thing was too idealistic. I'm not saying he's a bad senator. I'm not saying he's a bad person. I'm not saying he's a bad politician. I'm just saying he doesn't have the experience that Hillary Clinton has put in her time in all the different offices she's held over the 30 to 40 years she's been in politics. Now, before we get into really why I think as much coming into this, we were all very tired of the election. Really, this whole election year was very, very exhausting. More than ever, the divisiveness of this country came about, but also in turn, everybody, on the other hand, on the bright side, it let everybody be as passionate about who they were going to vote. Now, one thing that I'm very disappointed in, it's not necessarily that affected the results, was the fact that now that there's numbers coming out about pretty much half this country didn't even fucking go vote, considering how it was such an important election for this country. in that we need to address the divisiveness and the issues, the social issues, as well as the political issues going on in this country. But what I don't fucking get is why so little turned out to vote in the first place. That really irks me. And if you are one of those people that didn't vote, I'm sorry, but you have no fucking say to either complain or celebrate with either party or candidate because of the fact that you didn't even exercise your civic duty to register and then actually go fucking vote. And it's easy these days. I voted by fucking mail-in ballot, so don't give me that excuse that, I had to work, I had life. We had life. Other people that voted had life. I voted 2 weeks before the election via mail-in ballot. So fuck all of y'all that give stupid excuses about not fucking voting. Now, to get to the election. Now, during election night, it finally hit. Watching the results come in. Seeing how the Electoral College, once again, is probably the most outdated thing for this country, considering the popular vote, A, went to Hillary Clinton, and B, really, and the other thing is, it continues to divide us as a nation when it's red versus blue states. There's just so much fucking wrong with this whole situation. I know people should, I should just fucking get over it, and I'm slowly getting over the results, but I wanted to break this down for all of those people that feel just as disenfranchised and disappointed about the results in this election that there could possibly be. Let me take a breath. In turn, I must stress that yes, okay, so it is President-elect Trump, which I don't know how we fucking got here to the point where we have a President-elect Trump. Second of all, now, as much as people want to be on one side or the other, what really irks my chops is just how people, first of all, it comes down to basic human fucking rights. Do you want people to have basic human fucking rights in this country? That's really all what it comes down to. And apparently, there are a lot of people out there that want to set us back about 50, 60, 70, 100 years. It is so fucked up. I don't even know where to fucking begin. I mean, I'm as much as I'm heated, it's like I'm rolling around in circles. There's been articles and articles of both sides pandering. I think another reason why this election was so fucking exhausting was just how much the media perpetuated everything that went down in this fucking election. From the favoritism by certain networks, which is obvious, which is why I stopped watching the news a long time ago. Second of all, I don't know, people just have a tendency to still not get educated before they go and make a decision that does affect other people within this country. Now, luckily, the only good come out of this is that, well, not the only good, but it does bring up that it's 4 years, so in 4 years from now, there could be another president, which is good. It's just the level of fundamental scarcity out there right now, I mean, by certain minority groups, is just sad. From women to other minorities, racially, to the the LGBTQ community, to a lot of other minorities. It's just, what's even more sad is hearing that kids who are very young, after hearing the results of the election, are scared for their life, wondering if they're going to be deported or kicked out or discriminated against. Children. I mean, just think about that for one fucking second. Why should children be this fucking scared? And why did we have to vote this way? I mean, it's based on the fucking electoral college, which, again, I'm going to mention is one of the most outdated fucking systems we have in this country. So, two things need to happen. Peaceful protests, which, despite what the media is portraying, a lot of the protests going on are peaceful. Second, we need to fucking abolish the electoral college. And third, for the love of all friggin' Pete, get out there and fucking vote if you have something to say. Don't just sit back because, oh, they both suck. Well, there was third parties you could have voted for too, motherfuckers. So, with that, I'm just going to end this soapbox as, okay, it's over. Now, where do we go from here that is in the positive, uniting stage? And you may or may not agree with me, but this is how the cookie crumbles, and BB out.